All right, and we is on. Yo, 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 you too. What it do, man? How is everybody doing? It is 11/17/2025, guys. It is Monday. It is Monday. It's a wonderful, wonderful Monday. I hope you guys made some money. I know I did. If you guys have my social medias or is part of the Collector Club free server that I have in the bio, join that shit if you haven't. Join it if you haven't. You guys know I made some bread. I made some bread. Guys, it is a good day. Lovely, lovely day. Good start to the week. I hope you guys made some. If you guys didn't, hey, tough luck. We have the whole week ahead. You guys are going to kill it. But coming into this video today, guys, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of excited. I'm actually kind of excited for this video. Shout out to my motherfuckers that have been here since day one, dude. If you've been in this channel before 1,000 subs, dude, leave a comment, man. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know if you're watching this, guys. Oh my god, guys, it's been a journey, but more head, right? Guys, a lot of you guys that used to watch my content used to understand that every single day I would make a recap video, and one of the most beneficial things about these recap videos was I would literally do a step-by-step guide on what exactly was I looking for, how did that plan out, and what execution did I trade. And I'm starting to see that I'm drifting away from that. Now, I won't necessarily say I'm doing anything bad, but I'm drifting away from the original feel of my videos. I hope you guys understand. Is I used to start these videos hyped, pumped, and ready to teach, and I feel like it's gotten so strict and died down into so much of a study that you guys don't even want to really watch it anymore, and I don't even want to watch my videos anymore. So, fuck all that. We're back, baby, with the energy, and we're gonna dive into today. Now, a lot of you guys that understand what do I exactly use as a concept, as my strat. Well, I refine my trades from ICT's market maker models, MMXM, power of 3, and from day quarterly theory, right? So I implemented quarterly theory, MMXM, and power of 3 all together to refine pretty much my strategy, right? Now, concept wise, entering in the markets, that's an entirely different thing. It's primarily focused around power of 3 and quarterly theory for time and price confirmations. But one of the biggest things that I used to cover every single time in my videos was I would jot down from highest to lowest time frame, right? I remember you guys know, if you guys been watching my videos, I used to start every single video with, all right, let's start at high time frame to lowest time frame. So that's what we're going to do today. That is what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of what exactly was I looking for coming into today. Okay, so deep breakdown. We're going to start on the daily time frame and dive into what exactly was I looking for. Okay, a lot of you guys that are inside of Collectors Club understand that I think it was like a week back, yep, on the 9th, I was explaining my thoughts that we were in basically a generic, a mass market maker sell model on the higher time frames. Now, primarily seeing that we were in this market maker sell model, I have had my eyes on understanding that we are having a second stage distribution at the moment. As you can see, we already technically had 2 last week, and we are expanding from that. Now, what exactly is my draw on liquidity from this mass high time frame market maker sell model is the original consolidation lows. Now, obviously, there is specifics behind this, right? So people that study quarterly theory and the study of power of 3 MMXM, you guys will understand that quarterly theory refines time with price. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, it means that we can use the understanding of so many different concepts to refine, is price likely to reverse, creating maybe a protected low, such as we're going to reference to the October low. So let's look at this low, for instance. This low, why exactly is a prominent low? Well, for anybody that studies ICT's power of 3, let me just pop up my 3-month chart. Power of 3, 2 different instances, right? There's either an open high low close or an open low high close. Now, what exactly refines that it's an open low or an open high low close is what exactly is the overall high time frame narrative. How does that correlate to the 3-month power of 3? And does it align with our Kraken correlations? Now, Kraken correlations isn't necessarily a crazy hard concept to learn. It is basically the understanding of SMT or divergences, right? So we have 3 assets, right? As you know, we have NASDAQ, ES, Dow. Now, all of these assets are considered correlated assets. They're known to be correlated, meaning they're meant to be doing everything primarily at the same time, very similarly. Now, ICT's taught over the years of his concepts that there are such things as Kraken correlations, or, as we know, SMTs, or smart money divergences, right? These Kraken correlations prove that price could potentially reverse. So, when these Kraken correlations happen, that is the whole power of quarterly theory paired with power of 3. If we're expecting, now this is me thinking, that we are going to have a 3-month open, low, high, close. Now, why do I think this? Well, look at the overall yearly cycle. The overall yearly cycle is primarily bullish. The yearly power of 3 is already respecting bullish. Now, you guys understand we're in pretty much the last quarter of the year, so I'm expecting higher prices. Understanding this, I'm trying to find an open, low, high, close. Breaking down our 3-month period, well, our 3-month period starts in October. October, November, December. October, the very low of October, had 0 Kraken correlation. It had 0 SMT to prove it. Now, it did have, for people that study quarterly theory, an SMT, an HSSMT. Now, what exactly is that? It's a hidden SSMT. Now, this is a specific concept that I'm going to be teaching in my private mentorship. If you guys aren't hyped for that, I am. December 1st, it is dropping. All more details are going to be in the Discord if you guys want to be up to date with that. But the understanding of hidden SSMTs aren't the strongest Kraken correlations. And this is what I primarily mean is a lot of people think that this low is going to be protected low. Now, could it? Yes, it could. That low could easily be protected for our 3-month power of 3. But I truly think that the way that the power of 3 set up for the tariff low being the low of the 3-month period with no prominent Kraken correlation, right? It's just a hidden SSMT, which is not as powerful as a normal SMT or SSMT. So with this refinement, I'm expecting that if price proceeds to shoot lower and lower and lower and lower, we could possibly get a Kraken correlation under the October low, setting the stage for a low of our 3-month period in November. So primarily, my entire bias has been bearish. I keep explaining this to you guys, and like legit every single one of my outlooks is bearish. Now, why do I explain this? Is primarily because I think this low is going to get taken. Now, refer to ICT's content. He just dropped a video like a few days ago that I watched. He also thinks the low is going to get taken, right? So it's awesome to have your mentor on your side there. Now, reading just basic momentum, I mean, look at how the charts have been setting up. We've been inverting new week opening gaps, using them as inefficiencies. We've been using daily SIBIs to send price lower, right? All of these signs of bearish momentum. But what are we lacking is buy side delivery, right? We are not invalidating any bearish PD rates. There is no sign of bullish momentum here. So without getting super strategical, quarterly theory, power of 3, MMXM, all these concepts that I primarily teach, right? Going to the basics back when I first started trading, read basic market structure. What does this look like to you? It looks bearish, no? Because if market is disrespecting bullish PD arrays, such as bullish gaps, bullish order blocks, it's constantly disrespecting it, right? We have bullish breaker, all being disrespected, but what is being respected is inefficiencies. These bullish gaps, bullish new week opening gap, it's being inverted and used to send lower. One daily inverted gap right here again. And there was actually a new week opening gap in here. So all of this is proving weakness in the market. So reading basic market structure, what lays under here? Sell side delivery. Now I want to reference to YM. What exactly is on the tariff low that NASDAQ and ES don't show? Relative equal lows. Yeah, as you can see, we have a low and then a higher low right next to it. So we have relative equal lows at the tariff low, 0 prominent cracking correlation besides the hidden SSMT, which I'm not going to reference to for an entire 3-month power of 3. That's just simply, I'm just not going to do it. And reading basic market structure on the weekly, on the daily, on the 4-hour, everything is proving bearish. So what is my bias? Bearish. So if my bias is primarily bearish, what am I going into the week, the day looking for? Bearish momentum, right? I tell everyone, the trend is primarily your friend. If the trend is bearish, you want to proceed to go for shorts, right? If the trend on the higher time frame is bearish, we're going for shorts. Now, what exactly did I take today? 10 a.m. power of 3 shorts. Now, I have a lot of people that were thinking that we could possibly send up higher. Now, what exactly persuaded me for shorts? Now, we're going to dive into, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pull up my chart here. And what I want to do is take off all my indicators and go to the daily chart here. Okay, so in this chart, obviously explanation, we have NASDAQ on the left, ES middle, YM on the right. Now, what exactly draws to my eye immediately to prove weakness? Well, for anybody that studies quarterly theory, that studies day's content or Bucko Trades content, you'll understand that a lot of the times the similar concepts come up for such as cracking correlations. Now, there's different types of cracking correlations, don't get me wrong, things I'm actually going to be teaching in the mentorship, but one of them is SMTFs. Now, SMTFs is simply a concept called SMT fill. It means when a fair value gap is created on a consecutive indice, a correlated asset at the same time, and one gets filled while the other one doesn't, it shows weakness or strength in the market. Now, I want you guys to refer to this. Let's look at this daily gap here. We have a daily SIBI on all time frames. Now, ES and NASDAQ come up into it, but what does YM do? Breakaway gap. So what does this show me is that if we're going to break down the day, you guys understand I use AMDX, XAMD, right? This is just primarily a quarterly theory concept, which I teach all the time. I have free notions for it in my Discord. If you guys haven't already seen it, I talk about it all the time. AMDX, XAMD is primarily the study that between the day, there's 4 sessions. Asia, London, New York AM, New York PM. Each session is going to primarily do a specific cycle, whether that's accumulate, manipulate, distribute, expand, right? And within this, breaking down the day, we actually manipulated during London into this gap. So we manipulated in London session into this gap, a bearish PD ray. Now, looking at how the market actually respected this gap, anybody that studies ICT content, that studies my old content, I talk about institutional order flow entry drills. It's how much does the wick come up into the gap. If it doesn't fill the entire gap, it shows how weak price is. Well, look how we only filled up in the lower quadrant and price immediately sinks. What does YM come up into? The gap, but also the new week opening gap. Delivers bearish. What does YM do? Technically, breakaway gap. Breakaway gap also proves super weak prices. And on top of all of this, we are sitting at a heavy monthly cycle bearish SSMT. This is our high time frame cracking correlation. Okay. So why exactly do I think why exactly do I think October's low is going to get taken? Is because YM proceeds to create engineered resting relative equal low sell side, and all the markets are proving bearish displacement. Breakaway gap. Cracking correlation at all-time high with YM, ES, and NASDAQ failed to do so. Daily bearish PSP. PSP is a concept I'm going to be teaching in the mentorship. If you guys study quarterly theory, you'll understand what this is. Daily PSP. SMTF. Daily gap. New week opening gaps getting inversed, used to send lower. Discount wicks are being closed through and shown weakness. So why would I proceed to think bullish? I won't. I think that low is going to get taken and proceed to set a new low of our 3-month period to proceed bullish prices for the rest of the year. So coming into this known fact, what did I do? Well, let's come into the 1 hour. On our 1 hour chart, now this gap up here is our SMTF, our daily gap. As you can see, YM proceeds to not even come close to it. Now, this very high of the day is London, 3 a.m. When we actually have our high of the day, our London manipulation for our 4 quarters of the day, Asia accumulated, manipulation happened during London. We actually had a weekly cycle bearish SSMT with YM. Look over at the right. YM fails to create a higher high with the highest high of Friday's high. Okay, a weekly cycle SSMT is just a simple concept of what's the previous cycle of the day? What's the previous day's highest high? Now, is there a divergence within that, within the triad, as we know, YM, ES, NASDAQ? Well, YM fails to take that high. NASDAQ and ES take that high. Weekly cycle SSMT at London's high inside of a daily SMT fill. You see how all this is adding up? So, London does the pure manipulation. So coming into morning open, what are we looking for? Well, primarily we're looking for shorts. Now, was the market presenting that today? Well, not exactly. When the market opened up, we actually immediately had a spool to the upside. As you can see, this is our 9:30 open. Now, coming into 9:30 open, we did have a bullish 90-minute SMT. A hidden SSMT. That pushed price a little bit higher, but I was not looking for that. I was looking for shorts. Now, I took 10 a.m. power of 3. All of these concepts, if they're confusing, they're going to be taught in my mentorship. But all I'm trying to say here is that read the market structure. Okay, you guys have to understand, people that actually study quarterly theory, MMXM, power of 3, you guys sometimes will get so focused on the fact that there's a damn divergence in the market that you guys will like fully neglect market structure and what it's actually showing, bullish or bearish in the market. Is it ready to go? Is the AMD cycle proving this? Okay, so I think one of the biggest benefits that was in my trading, why exactly did I understand the market so well coming into quarterly theory when I first started learning from it, is because I literally gave it my all to understand ICT concept before. In my opinion, you cannot jump into quarterly theory without understanding basic ICT understanding. Now, ICT, in my opinion, is the full study of quarterly theory. He does not teach it. Day, in my opinion, was the one that figured it out and pretty much created the concepts around it. But the thought of quarters has always been an ICT concept. It is legit in his logo, for fuck's sake, right? So you need to understand his concepts first. Reading basic market structure, what do you think this is? Well, market pumps up, immediately market open, right? This was our 30-minute power of 3. I didn't take any longs because it was against my bias, and there was also not really a prominent cracking correlation or an SMT divergence at the lows to prove bullish displacement. Because what was I looking for on the day was pretty much bearish. So what did price do? Well, we actually have a 1 hour change in state. Now, a change of state is simply after a liquidity is purged in the market, usually the first prominent or the highest prominent order block that changes the state of delivery or the market structure is the change of state. Okay, now there are such things as true change of state. That's a quarterly theory concept. This is simply CISD. As you can see, the 1 hour change of state or the 1 hour bearish order block gets retested coming into 10 in the morning. So seeing this delivery, we were also in a premium. This was also 50% premium of the entire range, as you can see right here, 50%. Market comes into a premium. Market slaps a 1 hour bearish change of state of delivery order block. What am I looking for? I'm looking for 10 a.m. open to open, manipulate higher, distribute lower. 10 a.m. power of 3, right? So let's do a replay right here. 1 minute. So let's see what we get. Opening 10 a.m. What does 10 a.m. immediately do from the opening price? Well, it wicks up, creating a 1 minute bearish PSP. Now, this 1 minute bearish PSP, as it's not a strong manipulation, it is already validating what everything else is saying, right? True day open price already gets tapped on YM. Okay, as you can see, it's this line up here. YM already mitigates the true day open price. There's a cracking correlation at the highs with ES. Okay, as you can see right here. Cracking correlation with the highs. I'm sorry, right here, which was technically a pre-market high. Okay, so we have a cracking correlation at the highs with ES, bearish cracking correlation. 1 hour CISD on NASDAQ. True day open mitigation on YM. Proceeding from a weekly cycle SSMT, daily SMTF, and knowing that London put in the pure manipulation above true day open and the daily open price. So this shows us that if price is going to respect distribution as a Q3 cycle, it is going to do it during 10 a.m., right? 10 a.m. power of 3 is from 10 to 2 p.m. It is the most fluctuative, the most volatile 4 hours of the day, right? So what does price do? Respects it efficiently. Now, using quarterly theory concepts, MMXM, power of 3 concepts, you could have easily benefited from today if you simply was patient enough. That is simply it. If you're just patient enough in the market, you would have easily been able to profit from today's delivery, understanding that what is the higher time frame proving? It is proving bearish. Okay, I understand a lot of people get so stuck up in the fact of divergences and SMTs, cracking correlations. Guys, cracking correlations are a known concept to be added with the overall narrative. ICT stated this so many times, and I think quarterly theory people get so confused with this. Now, don't get me wrong, I study quarterly theory, but ICT is primarily like smart money concepts is how I trade, right? SSMTs, cracking correlations, these ICT states as an additional confluence. It is not your entire fucking bias. Okay? You do not just see a single SSMT and primarily say, okay, I'm ready to long or short now. No. What you are looking for is market structure to shift and prove signs of this delivery. The entire daily delivery from Asia all the way up into morning session was legit proving bearish. There was not a single bullish momentum in there. Maybe one or two. The hidden SSMT and maybe the monthly cycle that Friday delivered. But that wasn't going to stop me from what the overall shift was doing. So, you know, I try to stay away a little bit from like super crazy words and everything, right? I'm saving that primarily for the mentorship because I know a lot of people are coming into that mentorship knowing that they want to learn these concepts to basically get a better refined understanding of how I'm looking at the markets. But I want to start making my YouTube videos back like this, is how exactly did I used to explain it, and the simpler terms of what exactly is it showing, what is it proving, and why exactly am I taking it? Well, I'm taking shorts because the market structure is bearish. So why are you taking longs? You're not. Now, what is helping me refine that entry is time and price. Time, quarterly theory, right? Cracking correlations, price, power of 3. We had 10 a.m. power of 3 as my entry price, right? As you can see, 10 a.m. power of 3, bearish power of 3 for my price, for my entry. What proved time? Well, at the very high of the day, we spoke how there was a weekly cycle SSMT with YM. And at the high of 953, there was a bearish cracking correlation or SMT with ES with the pre-session high. Okay. At the same time, there was also a microcycle with YM. That's another confluence right there. Everything was proving it, bro. Everything. Everything. Now, if you guys were confused with today's delivery, you thought bullish for a specific reason, I want you guys to understand this. There's a lot of people out there in the trading industry that even if they know their shit, a lot of the times you don't want to listen to every little thing that they are talking about. Like, let's say for instance, there's people out there that talk about pre-market analysis and such as like that. Now, this is something that I'm not really going to be doing so much, is because I want you guys to understand the only way that you guys can really see growth in the market is by going by the defaults yourself, going by the losses yourself and learning from them. So you shouldn't be instantly thinking that, okay, if someone that makes money is thinking this, obviously they might have more market experience, but they could be wrong. Trust me, there has been times where I've literally seen live streams of people with tens of thousands of more dollars than I've ever made, and I know my shit better. But maybe it's just because of the stuff that I study, the stuff that I use in my charts. So I want you guys to understand that your own personal data collection is key. Go within your own charts, go within learning your own skill, but refine it with obviously mentorships, studies, YouTube videos. Exactly what I'm giving out the content for is to just guide you. But you need to put in the work yourself. You need to collect the correct data, and you need to pretty much click the button yourself at all times. Okay? But I'm not gonna lie, guys, I loved doing this today. I loved making this video. Right after this video, I gotta go back to making the content for the mentorship. As you guys know, 2 weeks until it is released. I am super stoked for it. I'm super excited. If you guys aren't in Collectors Club already, it's a free Discord server. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I already have 510 members as of right now. By the end of the year, we need 1,000. Okay, I'm pushing for it. I'm going for it. And guys, you already know, at the end, I always say the same damn thing. As always, I'll see you guys at the top. Peace out.